Hi, I'm Jacob. This is the Preppers Bunker Outdoors. Today is Tactical Tuesday. Today we're going to do a quick video on what it means to support the Thin Blue Line. Real quick, this video is completely funded through sales at my website, which is beachandtactical.com, where I sell the finest handmade mil-spec rifle slings, accessories, survival accessories, etc. And it's also supported through brand affiliation through Grunt Style. They make awesome Patriot apparel. Everything they sell has a no questions asked lifetime guarantee. And I also have a Patreon where you can support this channel directly. Now, I am a supporter of the Thin Blue Line movement, first off. And I always thought that what that meant should be pretty straightforward. And then I went to college. And all of a sudden, I was doing a report on a bit of police misconduct and some genocidal kind of issues like Waco and Ruby Ridge. And people were like, "Oh, you don't support law enforcement." What? And then there's the opposite end of the spectrum. Some special education student recently mentioned that if you do support the Thin Blue Line, that you are responsible for Waco and Ruby Ridge. So it's a very polarized topic where for some reason a lot of people have taken a stance of either you have to support every police officer and every person that puts on the badge if you say you support the Thin Blue Line. And on the flip side, people who say that if you support the Thin Blue Line, you also support everything wrong that law enforcement has ever done. And the brutal stupidity of either argument is ignorant of the fact that police officers and law enforcement are people. Just like soldiers, just like anything else, not all of them are good, not all of them are bad. I would say with police officers, probably more of them are good-ish than bad. But at the end of the day, to take any absolute statement is the height of ignorance, and anybody educated understands that. My subscribers understand that. If you're watching this and you don't, I'll explain it. But to say that all police are good or all police is bad is the same as saying all black people are, all white people are, all females are, all males are, etc. Whatever. All Americans, all Norwegians, all Africans, whatever you want to say, if you paint an entire broad spectrum, absolutely, you are a retard. Bottom line. In fact, if you support the Thin Blue Line, specifically if you're a police officer, you should be more critical of law enforcement than anybody else because you took an oath to support and defend the Constitution against enemies foreign, keyword, and domestic, meaning that law enforcement officers who infringe on Citizens' Bill of Rights should be the first enemy of any law enforcement officer who took an oath, right? Who is legit. So how do you handle that as an everyday person wondering whether you support law enforcement or not, if you're wondering that for yourself? Well, like anything in life, you hope for the best and expect the worst. So if you have a police officer that you don't know pulling you over for whatever, whatever the case may be, hope that they're an upstanding, straight-shooting person and expect that they're not. And military, definitely politicians, law enforcement officers, most of them take this oath and they don't even care what it means. And the biggest problem, and the reason that I am critical of law enforcement, is let's say you're just some hammer and sickle thumping communist, just red and gold-blooded, dirty, communist, soulless animal, and you just hate the Constitution and America and capitalism and everything else. You might be a piece of trash, but that's okay. But if you hold those beliefs after personally swearing an oath to uphold and defend the opposite, well, now you deserve to hang. So you are held to a higher standard as a law enforcement officer. And you know that, and I know that. Everybody should know that. Same as being a soldier or anything else. You're in a position of authority. You're held to a higher standard, especially when it comes to people's rights. But at the same time, the people that hate police, all of them, and are super against the thin blue line, will then run onto their phone and call the police in a second. And not only will they call the police that they hate so much, but then they will expect the police to value their lives more than their own. They will expect the police that they hate and don't believe in to come into their house and save their life and put the person's life above his life and his own family's life. It is the height of ignorance and stupidity, because you are affirming the honor of their position, and then when it's not convenient for you, decrying it. Absolute pieces of human trash. So, guys, hope for the best, expect the worst. Police officers do sacrifice, and they do choose to sacrifice. Many of them are sheepdogs, and they do deserve respect. On the flip side, you will have wolves that look like sheepdogs, and they deserve the worst. So they're people, guys. They're not born as police officers. They're people. So you can't expect anything of somebody because of what clothing they wear, right? You can't expect a person to be honorable and courageous because he puts on a badge, he or she, in this gender-inclusive land of stupidity that we live in. So, yeah, guys, can you be critical of specific police officers and still say that you support the thin blue line? Duh. Can you not support the thin blue line because you're anti-government, but still be respectful of police officers while critical? Again, yes. If you have to take an absolute stance on either end, you're a brainwashed slave. And that's all there is to it. So let me know what you think in the comments section below. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Do it to it. Share it around. Get people to think about stuff a little bit with their own brains, not just with what they heard from their mother's brother's uncle or something, or the media. So I hope that you have a blessed day.